How's it going, everybody? Happy Thursday. What is going on today? We've got GVO After Dark because it is the last Thursday of the month. I'll be your host. Go Veer, go home. And in today's GVO After Dark, we are going to talk about some news straight out of Toronto from Go Transit. We've got some new announcements and a release schedule for Rapido, Athern, and more. We've got some new stuff in store from Bowser and Rapido. And we're going to do some train talk, August in review, and a little bit more. So, I can't do this by myself. Oh, geez. I'm already dying here. Okay. I got to keep it together for my first co-host here.
Hey guys, enjoy your bacon. Chris, man, thanks for having me on.
Hey, Dave. How's it going, Dave?
I'm doing good. Hey, you have M&M rails with my name. It's Dave Co.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I think there was a mix-up. Hold on, let me see if I can bring him in. No, can't do it.
Yeah, here I am.
Oh, there he is. Nice.
Okay, let's bring Dave back. Bring Dave back.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'll bring Dave back. Dave back.
I had to run really fast to get all the way back here from that. Mark, your house is really far away. Woo! What's up, guys?
How's your mouth?
The run really straightened it out.
Okay.
Well, kinda. Sometimes it still does this.
I just want to do a quick shout just to those who are showing up here bright and early just before 8 o'clock because we normally start at 8. So we do have John, 2618, Dwight, and Dawn, and Roger. And how's it going, everybody? Roy, how's it going, Roy and Dwight? And James Galton, how's it going? And if I missed you, Luca, how's it going? And Tim from They Make It Like That. All right. So I hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday of Thursdays. Guys, how are you doing? How was your month, Mark and Dave there?
Good. Guess what?
What?
I finally cataloged all my rolling stock.
Wow. That's a big job.
Spent a few hours 2 days ago cataloging everything. So it's on a Google spreadsheet. I have all my locomotives, the numbers, the manufacturer, and then save my rolling stock.
Nice. How long did that take?
A few hours. Few hours. Yeah. I'm still not done, but most of it, I'd say like 95% is done.
Is that on a PDF that you can take with you?
It's on Google Sheets, which I have the app on my cell phone. So if I, forget what number I have, I can quickly look it up.
Nice.
I use Google Pillows, but what are you going to do?
I use Notepad. That's easy. Yeah, I don't know.
Use a napkin, just
carry this napkin around with my rolling stock on it.
I know there's apps out there, especially for like inventory, but I just find Google Sheets easier.
Yeah.
It's never gonna get erased or, but
I think it's by Woodland Scenics. Woodland Scenics has an app for that.
Yeah, I thought about it, but what if they decide, we're not gonna support this app anymore?
Yeah.
Or it crashes, or I don't know.
I like the spreadsheets. I also use it spreadsheet, but I have it on my OneDrive because I don't use Google. I use Microsoft. But I don't know what that was. My bad. But I like because you can format it the way you want.
Exactly.
So if you want to separate brand, car number, or car brand number, or road name, or locomotives and cars versus you can have your buildings in there. Like you can kind of do whatever you want. So I need to add a few of my cars, but most of them are on there, and it's just so handy because especially it being in the cloud, you just on your phone, you're like at a shop and you're like, oh man, I just got to bring this up on my phone. There's everything, it's
Exactly.
so
For all-
easy.
For all 6 cars that you have, right? You have so much to
Look,
remember.
You can count like what? Okay, you can't see. There's a flat car. There's 7. All right, leave me alone.
You've got like 3 locomotives. What are you doing?
It's
Buy more.
I'm
So I heard you're going
trying.
CN.
If
Is that
Rapido is
true?
ever going to release things,
Well, are you going CN now? I see you running some CN this past month.
no, that was the worst content I've ever released. 100%, hands down, the worst. Not going to happen again.
See,
I think.
Mark runs CN, and I run CN. So you got to feel some sort of peer pressure. Pressure.
Nope. No.
It is what
I will not swoop down to your guys' level.
Oh well. It was worth a shot, right?
You know how some people think they're better than others?
Go on.
No, I better not. Meanwhile, all the
Oh.
viewers are CN.
Oh, except for I think I saw Bubs in there. Bubs got your side, so
Yeah, thanks, Bubs.
it is what it is. But so yeah, we'll talk more about that in a bit because we actually, the 3 of us, got together at the beginning of the month, right? Was it in August that we came over to your house, or was that at the end of July? I can't remember.
It all just blurs together, but it was in August. It was a couple weeks ago. It was just at the beginning of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll touch on that a bit because I mean Mark mentioned it on his live, and yeah, we were overly impressed with how you threw all that together, and so we're going to talk about that
together. I spent hours planning that and slaving over. I made you books.
So he force-fed
the last time I printed something from a home printer was when I was in like high school doing a book report. A+.
Either way, is that where the duotangs came from too?
Those were my wife's.
Either way. But yeah, so in the news this month, Metrolinx just received the last of 36 new Go Train coaches at its Willowbrook facility in Etobicoke. This brings the new fleet to a total of 364 train cars, newly equipped with CEM technology and remote diagnostic systems. CEM standing for Crash Energy Management. The new cars include an onboard diagnostic system that will provide real-time data to help identify problems quickly and save on maintenance cost. Built in Thunder Bay by Alstom, where 971 of the double-decker cars have been built since 1975. So that was a little tidbit from Toronto there for you. And, that would be neat if these cars had a diagnostic system built into them. That way I can tell you exactly what's going on with it. But, yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah. Oh, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I said very cool.
Oh, that's it?
Cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro. Anyways. Oh, man. Okay, so we've got some new announcements this past month, and this is actually, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later. You know what? I'll do it now because I'm going to bring it up right now. I want to know your input from each of you on something like this here because it's happening, right? And Dave is laughing pretty hard, and I don't know why, but I'll find out after. Someone's going to get a phone call.
I'm gonna get fired from this talk show.
You've been fired like 6 times. You just keep showing up for some reason.
You can't get anybody better. I said it earlier, man.
Hold that. You hold that thought, Mark. You still got that picture?
Yeah.
I set myself up for that
one. So Rapido announced this month that they are doing another run of the 53-foot mill gondolas. And I got a couple of them here. Got both the O&R for obvious reasons, and I've got a CN for more obvious reasons. Yeah, keep shaking your head. Yeah.
Are those Rapido?
These are Rapido. Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nicely done. Yeah, except for like a couple little things, which whatever. So yeah, they're being offered for $50 a car or $300 for a 6-pack, a little bit more than the last run. Now, this is the thing I wanted to mention to you guys, because those came out season 1 of GVO After Dark, which was 2 years ago. So within 2 years, they're already doing another run of cars.
Yeah,
the same cars, same tooling and everything. Is that too soon? And
Yes.
if it is too soon, like how long should you wait between runs?
5 years. I'm just throwing
5
that
years?
out there. I would say
It
5 years.
It depends on the demand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Was there? I guess there was a huge demand for them, or what?
Well, these ones, the O&R ones, sold out so quick.
Okay.
The blue, not the green. The green, you can still find those ones. You can still go into a store and find CN or CP. I just bought these. Like I have 2 of these. I bought last month. So if they're still on the shelf, are they going to stay with the consistency where, hey, I can go at any time to any store and buy a gondola and it's always available? Is that, is that fair to do? Or is it something where, like Dave said, 5 years? Do a rerun every 5 years with new numbers.
It's tough, right? The
is
longer
tough.
you wait, the more kind of demand there ends up being. Which is good and bad. It's good for the people who want it. It's bad for the people after the fact, who kind of get into the hobby and go, "Oh man, I want those, but now I can't find those." Or instead of $50 a car, I'm paying like $75 or $100 a car, or whatever. Just because there's not a lot of supply and demand anymore, because whether it was so closely spaced that they did their 2 or 3 or however many runs and now there's none, or it's been every 5 years for 3 runs, and then because it's kind of more rare, people snap them up and then there is none. I don't know if there's a perfect answer, really. I mean, obviously we all have our preferences, but
yeah, I mean, it's tough because like when I had brought this up, I brought it up last Sunday on the brunch kit build, preemptively talking about how I was going to ask you guys today. And if you go back in time, I want to say 2-3 years, it seemed like every manufacturer was coming out with an SD40. Mind you, every company, was doing, let's say, an SD40-2. And then they just put out the SD40-3. There's differences like that, or an SD40 2W, the wide cab. So there's minor differences between each of the cars, and Bowser is pretty good for doing that. They will have like a single body, but then several different detail parts depending on the road name or the era of the locomotive. But having, so many of the same locomotive coming out at the same time as well, it does seem like a bit much. And then you end up missing out on, let's say, if you wanted a couple of different road names, you can either get one or one of each or 2 of one, and you miss out on the others. You know what I mean? So it's tough to have to plan for something like that, because at the same time, we never really know when they're going to hit the shelf. They'll say, well, it'll be in 2 weeks or so. Yeah. You're waiting another 2-3 months. Yeah. So you can't really forecast it, right? So
I wonder, and this is just like spitballing off the top of my head, but obviously this may not be financially, it may not make sense financially, but it would be nice if, because they have the toolings, if they kind of kept a couple in a warehouse where, okay, the initial car was $50, but we have a small stock directly from the company for say $75 that you could go and say, I want this, and then they only have like 5 or 10 in stock, and then the next time they just like refill slowly. I don't know. That's like the
Walther's
perfect world, right?
Walther's does that because not
Yeah.
only are they a manufacturer, but they also have their showroom and warehouse, right? So it seems like they have a back filling of all that, like the building kits and box cars and whatnot. So it all, they you can place an order at any time from them directly. And I know that manufacturers as well, when they're refilling orders, they put in an order just like we would, and then it gets sent out. But even this past month, and I mentioned it to Mark today because he was at a local shop here, and I've been trying to find a single track bridge abutment set, and they're like sold out everywhere locally anyways. But Mark found one at a store, so you didn't get that, right?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. But yeah, so that's what friends are for, right? When you're like stressing all month about something, and then because I'm going to need that for the top level. So, but yeah. Thanks, Roy. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Roy's going HO. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm excited. The pressure is on. Now we got to convert Tim. We got to get Tim over to the HO side.
Yeah, shouldn't be hard. But yeah, back to the stock thing. I was at Larkspur today, and I thought, you know what, I might crack and because there's a rule that when my wife and I go to Merrickville to the train store, she says you can't leave without buying anything. Okay, fine. So I thought I'm gonna buy another LRC car because they're sold out. Oh, I was like, so with the LRC run, that would be great if every 2 years they came out new LRC cars, because if you're a collector and you like them so much like I do, I want every single one. I can't afford to buy every single one in one shot. There's like, how many, Dennis? 24 of them?
Well, he has.
I like to buy one a month, but you can't do that because stores don't keep them in stock because it's too expensive. And I get that. And like, Sparky said earlier in the chat, if they're, they only make as many as are demanded.
Yeah.
It's all about profit, which I understand too. They don't want things sitting on the shelf collecting dust. I totally get it. They want to just turn over the inventory real quick. But man, we can't afford to buy 24 cars. Well, most of us can't afford to buy 24 cars in one shot.
Yeah.
You're a millionaire.
Well, they're $100 a pop.
Yeah.
And the ones that are going to sell first are those, the special wrap ones. So.
Yeah. So then you're stuck going to eBay because, smart investors, rip-off artists, buy all this inventory up and then double the price on eBay, and then you're kind of stuck if you want. So
the funny thing is like when you had mentioned that about going to Merrickville, I was gonna say like my wife is the same way. I'm not allowed to go to Merrickville unless I go to Wickwitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she loves it. She loves it.
Yeah.
So my wife actually, and then she put in the chat there. She's like, if you go there, you have to go to Wickwitch and get me a nice smelling candle. And I'm like,
yep.
I can't win. Yeah. And then Dave, of course, he wants fudge from that fudge place.
Oh, the fudge is good. Yeah.
I don't know the name of it though.
We always do a round and then get lunch at the Yellow Canoe Cafe there, and it's nice. It's a nice drive for us because I guess you guys are not too far, but we're about an hour and a quarter, so we make a whole day out of it.
I'm about 45, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Did you have more to add to that?
No, so I was going to say again, like Dave said, it depends. Every 2 years would be nice for certain items, but as for O&R gondolas, I don't care if they come out every 2 years or 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah,
it's not something I want or need.
So here's the new thing that Rapido started, and I don't know if many people have noticed this, but when they did their first run, they did 6 numbers, which is great. So they did 6 numbers of these, and most of the other ones as well. This time around, the same thing with the ore cars that they're doing. They're doing a set of 6 that you can get, but then they're also doing an unnumbered car. And the reason for the unnumbered car is because they made a I guess, a deal with Highball Graphics, Highball Decals, to produce more decal numbers. So you can get like however many of the unnumbered and number them yourself, and you go to Highball to get those numbers. So
that's a good
kind of
idea.
working together with that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. A good middle ground.
But I don't like that there are more this time around. I know that the times are changing and the prices reflect that, but it's a little bit more. And of course, they've got like the Algoloma Central BC Rail, which they had last time. A couple of different types of the CN Noodle. Same with the CP, ONR Progressive, and Chevron. And then the PGE, TH and B, and of course, undecorated for those who want to make up your own. And yeah, they came out March 28th. That's when they hit the shelves, because that's when I did the GVO After Dark number 5, showing off these cars. Wow. So that was the last time that they were released.
Wow.
2 years ago.
And will this new run have new numbers? I missed that. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, 6 new numbers and then an unnumbered for all of them.
Okay. Cool.
I think the unnumbered idea is actually fantastic. I wish everybody would do that.
I do like Highball. Of all the different decal brands that I've used, I think Highball is one of the best, personally. So I'm happy they went with them. Just saying. And of course, Athearn, they did, and they released the P42. We all, a lot of people already got those, but they did so well that they're doing another set of the Athearn Genesis P42. Still no VIA soon though. I know, Mark, it's like, hey, don't you own a P42 though? I've never owned a P42, and I think it's about time. I think, I need to make that jump. But it's all Amtrak. Phase 6, Phase 5, Phase 3, Phase 1. They're all in the 50th anniversary scheme. And, of course, the Amtrak Midnight Blue in the 50th scheme as well. MSRP is $210 for DC and $310 for DCC Sound. You can expect those September 2022. Still no VIA. So you can expect VIA 2023, 2024, or whenever. Or never. Either one at this point.
I bought my P42 secondhand. It was DC, and Dave actually made it DCC.
I don't remember that.
I do.
No?
That was one of my first layouts. That's when you got it. Because you brought it over, and then you guys made the exchange.
Yeah. I ran to the ATM so fast. I texted you and I said, there's a P42 here for I think it was $75. And you said, that's a really good deal. I sprinted to the ATM and I came back and boom.
I wonder what that would look like. Mark sprinting.
Yeah. Okay, it was light jog.
Okay, you sent your wife. Just admit it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I do remember that.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
It's my cat digging in a box that's just like a... She's trying to sharpen nails that are...
Oh,
sharpening the beans, eh? My cats do that.
Yeah, sharpening the beans.
Stop! Cat, stop! You're wrecking my show!
I'm going to have to throw something eventually.
Alexis!
I don't have anything.
The Rapido gondola. The Rapido gondola.
And then, here's a treat, because not only are Rapido doing these, but Athearn is actually doing, or they did announce, both N-Scale and HO, because we don't discriminate here, although you should really do HO. Just kidding. Athearn 33,900 gallon LPG tank cars. So that's the... Whoa. Oh, my fingers are covering it. Oh, geez. Well, that's really bright. There we go. Procore tank cars. It says Procore on it, I swear.
It's almost as white as Chris.
Right? Blend it in.
And that's Athearn, you said?
Well, this one's Walther's, but I mean, it looks very, very similar to this one, which again, very bright. Yeah, it's glowing right now. Jeez. Okay, well, I'm not even going to try. It's probably just where I'm sitting. But yeah, you can get the all-white Procore, the PROX, or the all-black Procore with the white logo. And you can get them in the TACX, GBRX, UTLX. You can either get a 3-pack for $170 or 2 extra single cars at $64 each. They are due in September 2022. And when you break it right down, there's a total of 30 different road number cars, or 30 car numbers to choose from. So that's a lot. And same thing with N Scale, but N Scale, you're looking at a 3-pack for $100 or 2 singles at $40 a piece. So
Chris,
it's a lot of cars.
Sorry to interrupt. There's 30 road numbers, and they were $64 a piece.
Yeah,
for a single car.
Yeah.
That's like what, 1920 $1,920.
Hold on.
I'm gonna admit I used a calculator. I wanted to look smart. I'm trying to impress Mark.
$1,200 for all 30 cars. No, did I? $40?
Mark's frozen, or he's so yeah. I think
$40 times 30 different numbers.
Doing the N scale. Sorry, I did the $64 at 30. 1920.
Oh, that's why.
Jump change, John says. I think Mark timed out, Chris. I think we lost him.
That's cool.
Or he's just frozen in shock from the price.
Oh yeah, no, he's gone.
There he goes. Disappointed because I had to use a calculator.
Should have had a V8. Just checking to see with the chat there. Mark disappeared. That's cool. So yeah, we got some stuff that are new in store while we're waiting for Mark to come back.
Yeah.
The HO scale Rapido EMD SW 1200. These are mostly American names, but it's cool. DC for 210 or DCC sound for 305, equipped with lock sound. CBQ, Rock Island, Conrail, DRGW, GTW, Penn Central, and more. They all look awesome. So make sure you grab yours today. And Bowser 70-ton wood chip hopper, another Wren came out. You're looking at $29 each, and this is what they look like.
See, that is a price I can get behind. Those are fantastic. Mark brought one over. It was featured in the worst video I ever made.
They are great. I can't stand this plastic shiny.
Does it come out?
No.
It doesn't just pop out? Don't break
Maybe.
it. I'll feel really bad if you break it because I asked you to check.
What's going to happen is that I'm going to take actual wood chip and I'm going to fill this in and put some white glue on there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it look like an actual wood chip load, right?
Yeah.
But looking at the car itself, it's got all the little rivets and whatnot. I'm not sure how true to accuracy they are, but Bowser always does a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little on the light side, but detail-wise, very heavy.
Yeah, metal wheels, Protomax couplers. That's their stand. I just, like I was saying earlier, I bought another boxcar from them.
Yeah.
There he is. Well, not yet.
Oh, I'm on data.
There he is.
Hi, Mark. What happened, Mark?
Our Wi-Fi's been cutting out every now and then, and of course, so now I'm using data on my phone.
Oh, geez.
Sorry about that.
Well, it's okay. If you need to switch back once your internet comes back, then just let me know. We were just talking about the Bowser wood chip cars. There's more that are that just came out. You got one, right?
I did get one, yes. How do you find yours?
How did I find mine?
Yeah. How do you? What's your?
I order from
your review?
OVR. I don't have to look. I just do.
You're so funny. We found it a little top heavy, right, Mark? When
Yeah.
it was over here, it was
Oh, how do I find it? As in, do I like it?
Yeah.
There we go, Chris. Thanks for coming up to everybody
Wow.
else's level. Thanks, buddy. Welcome.
You know,
It's your first day.
It's I just woke up. No, it's my first day. We're almost in season 4, and I still haven't really gotten it all. So it's all good.
Okay.
Sorry, you were saying you were telling us what you thought.
They're top heavy. That's all.
Yeah, we pushed it down the inclines, and I was at the end with my hands out in case because it was like leaning real bad.
I think Jason the Train Freak did a review on. He compared Bowser and Atherton, I think, just recently. I'll have to watch it again, but see what he says.
The green ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find a number of them. You can find like there's kits as well where you can just build them yourself. Those you can still find those as well. They're available, and they're usually about $19 or so, which is pretty low price, and you just build the car yourself. There's not much to it, right? So, but yeah, there really hasn't been too much showing up in stores lately that have really made a lot of noise, but we've got some stuff that are on the way. For example, Rapido, their second run of the B36 Loco. Mark, you have one of those. You got the Santa Fe one, right?
I do, yeah.
There's more that are on the way, and of course the GP20 tank car, and another run of well cars. So those should be in within the next week or so, week or two.
If only
more well cars, eh?
Tens would show up.
Yeah, with the well cars, they're also doing the pink well car, and I know that's going to be on everybody's list to get. And there's not going to be that many of them, just like the last time. So,
yeah.
So let's talk about the month. The month. So, Mark, we'll start with you. You did your Third Rail Thursday, and most of your videos this month were mainly about scenery.
Yeah, I got the bug, as I called it, and I got a lot done. So I'm hoping. Well, there's a good chance I won't do any more before when school starts, but hopefully before the new year I'll get most of the neighborhood finished. But I am happy with it. I'm happy.
Anything that you would change, or anything like, is there something about it that you like doing the most? Like you said, you caught the bug. So what is it that you think that is really doing it for you?
Just seeing it come to life, and it's so nice to have nice background when running trains, taking video, instead of like just the foam and white walls. More trees are up, the houses are up, grass. Just everything tying together. So much better.
And of course, you did an unboxing with the tank cars and the new LRC locomotive. How's it still working out for you?
Good. Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier that I tried to reprogram the LRC. This here guy I just got. So of course it's number 3, as they all come number 3, and it took me forever to program it to the road number 6914. I finally got it, but it must be the decoder. It's old, I guess, because the Gray Ghost, same thing. I cannot change the number with Digitrax. Apparently, you can use NCE to change the decoder number, but I can't do it. Oh well.
Well, next time you guys come over, we can just pop it on my track. I've got JMRI that does pretty much everything.
Okay. I appreciate that.
And Dave, on your Third Rail Thursday, you showed us the new CMX cleaning car.
Did I?
Yes.
No, I didn't have that yet. Not on my live stream. No, because you guys came over after the live stream. I'm pretty sure, or right after. No, you guys came right before the live stream. The CMX showed up on Friday. I didn't have the CMX on the Thursday yet.
Did you?
I think
You did a video though.
Oh, I did.
A
Yeah,
review.
I did
Yeah.
a quick video just showing it off. But it wasn't. I didn't have it on my live stream, but I did do a video.
So
I think for the live stream, I just ran trains. I showed off the booklet and.
I have a comma here, and I totally bypassed the comma. I swear I was there for both of those things, but when I wrote it down, that's how I wrote it, but it didn't register here when I read it. So.
Oh, it's all good. I barely I almost believed you, actually. Yeah, I showed off the duotangs that I made for you when you guys came over, the little op session, and then the CMX car showed up on the Friday afterwards, and I'm really impressed. I mean, everybody who gets it says they're impressed. I mean, I'm not saying anything new, but the one thing I will say that is kind of new is it does in fact work on 15-inch radius. 14 and a half actually. I think it might squeeze down to 14, and it works fantastic. So that was a big thing because everybody makes a video and says, "Look how great it is! Look how great it works," but they don't say, "Hey, this is how small." Like, because it's a lot smaller than it looks, and due to that, it takes the small radius curves really well. And I was really worried about it. Now I have to take 3 of my locomotives just to make it up my 4% incline, but it works, and I had it going all around by itself doing the loop, which is a big deal for me. It did cause some problems with that turnout that I replaced that I made a video out the other day about, and that was so funny, and I know we're going to talk about this probably soon, but it was just one of those things where you build it up and you're like, this is going to be like 2 hours and such a pain in the butt, and I'm never going to be able to do this right. And then it like slips right in, and like 8 minutes, under 10 minutes, it's just like, whoa, I think it's done. And then, you test it and it's like mint, and you're like, ah. Now, mind you, no ballast or anything, and it wasn't glued down because I didn't glue it down. I just have the rail joint. Like, I've got the track glue down, and then the rail joiners slip on to keep it down. But yeah, that was huge. And I've been doing some scenery as well. I built that kit from Bubs. I added onto my tunnel. What else did I do? I haven't talked about that retaining wall. Oh, I did the harbor wall. That was a big one. I've been building the harbor wall. That's really exciting. I agree with Mark. It's really motivating to see things come together. But I will be honest. I really love the aesthetic of the plywood with cork and the track, and the painted track especially. Like, if I like never put scenery on this and just left it as the painted track on cork on plywood, I would be happy. I love that aesthetic. There's something about it. I don't know if it's nostalgia or what. I just think it looks so sick. But
I think it takes us back to that time before we could do all the ballasting and adding like every industry and all the extra little things that make a layout look complete. It's like everybody's 4x8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It looks clean to me. It looks so clean. I don't know.
But you're getting along with the plaster cloth too, which is really nice because
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna like.
I was just so excited to answer.
It really brings like a new shape to the layout.
Yeah, the thing about building the building kits, and well, really every step of the way, I've done the plaster cloth, I've done the building kits, so far, and some painting as well. The painting's by far the hardest part, but the building of kits, it's not as hard as it seems. We've talked a bunch of times about how my last layout, I didn't do any of the buildings or the painting or anything. You did it for me, which was great. I'll always appreciate that. But this time around, I said I wanted to do it myself, and it feels really good when, you know, you're kind of not sure. You're like, I'm cutting the harbor wall. I'm like, oh, I'm screwing this up big time. But then you set it down and you glue it together. You set it down and you're like, whoa, that looks awesome. Like I did that, you know, and that feels incredible. And then, you know, builds your confidence a little more, and you get further along and further along, and you know, so that's really cool. I'm really enjoying. I didn't think I would, but I'm really enjoying the scenery portion of it. Surprisingly, I still prefer wiring and track laying, but I'm enjoying it.
And yeah, Steve, I mean, you're kind of right there because of the fact that I'm gonna bring.
You're back.
There we go. Is I am slightly reading the chat. It was moving pretty fast there earlier, so I might have missed some stuff. Again, guys, I always go back after the show once everything, you know, finalizes, and I always go back and I go through the chat. I love to see, you know, all the comments and the questions and all that stuff, just in case I missed anything. But yeah, Steve, yeah, when we were poor, I mean, you know, when you're really young, you know, your parents say don't use power tools. Okay, cool. So, you know, you're left with a hammer and nails really at that point. And, you know, you can't always freely go to the store and buy the things that you would love to have. So when you get to, you know, that age where, okay, well, you know what, you know, I can put aside some money to do this, or, you know, my mom's not here to tell me to not use a chop saw, or, you know, wear safety goggles. What are those, you know? But yeah, more or less, you know, as time goes on, you know, you can do a bit more and grow, and you grow with the hobby, and you learn a whole bunch of different and new things. So
yeah,
but yeah, even with like scenery, right? Like you said that you never really did scenery and stuff before, but now you're learning by doing, and that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I have a really hard time visualizing scenery. You know, I joked about it doing the plaster cloth, but it's just like, what's a hill look like again? Like, huh? You know, just like, I don't know if that looks like a hill, you know. But it's funny that you say that. When I was a kid, I had a 4x8 oval, and I'd always be down. Okay, Mom, I'm going down to play with my trains, and my mom would be like, "Okay, but don't use electronics." And it's like, "Okay, Mom, what?" But it's like, you know, what do you think I'm gonna do when I go down and play with my electric train set, Mom?
Your voice has not changed at all.
But you know, the best part is, I had well, there's two. I had a locomotive that, you know, as a kid you give them nicknames, and this one was Sparker because it would just short out. But you know, as a kid you're like, look at it, Sparker, and it's like, and, you know, and then, you know, turning the DC power pack all the way to one way, and then using steel wool that my dad got me to clean both tracks at once. Both rails at once. That was also a important lesson that I learned. But
it's the old tinfoil in the microwave, right?
Anyways, good times.
Good times. And you know, we've all been there, so it's, you know, it's the one thing that I think we can all relate to the most, you know, is the 4x8. So yeah. And for myself, I was lucky enough to have Brandon and Tristan come by on my Third Rail Thursday, and they brought a lot of fancy new locomotives. I don't know if you guys got to see or not, but
yes,
Tristan always brings by brass, and it's the product that he stands by. So, you know, it's out of my price range, but it's always fun to see that.
It's not only that. I mean, he customizes them so incredibly detailed. You know, yeah. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the cool things is going down to the yard, and when the train pulls up, and you can, you know, you have that window where you can take those pictures and use them as reference, or even going to railroadpictures.net or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then, you know, just being able to get it as spot on as possible.
I have no
Marker.
interest in brass. Am I weird or what?
No.
What?
I have no interest in brass.
I don't either. I mean, I don't either. The CMX car is brass, but that's literally just I bought it
choice.
for the cleaning, not because of the brass.
Yeah.
I kind of see the appeal, but I'm just not into it myself.
I think if I was to do brass, like it would probably be a steam locomotive. You know what I mean? Like, no point in buying a diesel, when I can go out and get that diesel in plastic. So
yeah.
But a lot of the Rapido stuff, because I've seen it pre-production, where you've got your it's not Rapido, so you'll have to forgive me, but you'll have your shell, right, and it's not painted, and then you'll have little brass etchings, brass railings will be brass, and then when it's painted, none of it looks brass, but it's all the detail parts that are on there that give it that extra life. And that's basically what Tristan did. Was he took a shell. Well, I don't know if it was Overland, so the shell was probably brass as well.
Yeah.
But it's what a lot of people will do is that step between going full brass. They'll have a plastic model, and then they add brass parts to it to give it that level of detail.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just easier to cut the plastic and put those brass covers in. So, but yeah, he really went to town on those locomotives, getting them as spot on as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does good work.
And another huge thing this month has been the triple dog dares, and I know Mark, you took part in that, Dave. Yeah. And even myself, I definitely took part in that. Couldn't let that one slip off.
I regret it completely, by the way. Just want to make that public service announcement. The layout almost burned down after they left.
We'll find you some more CN. Don't worry. But yeah, I think that with the challenges, it really brings the community together, and I think it's awesome that everybody is taking the time to answer those, I challenge these people, and they'll actually take the time to say, I see this challenge, and I'm going to follow through and whatnot. And then they post, and then they challenge more people, and it really goes full circle in the community. And I think that everybody's doing awesome, and I love seeing that stuff. So, and so layout issues, guys. What have you guys been having issues with this past month? Because we're all working on our layouts. We're all getting through it little by little. But is there something that's been sticking out to you guys?
Mark,
go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, first off, I have the turnout that I replaced, where I broke the tie off when I put it in. And, it's really funny when I was definitely in a hurry. And it's so funny when I was putting everything together in the track initially, I was like, man, I'm being so careful. I want this to run perfect. And then stupid me is like, oh, I broke the tie off. No big deal. I'll just put this in an area I barely can access and forget about it. And it's at the time, because I only bought enough switches for the main line at the time, but I mean, I had the one for the top. But again, I don't know what I was thinking. Now, mind you, it wasn't a deal breaker, because as I mentioned, I just kind of stuck my hand in there and pushed the throw bar up into the hinges, and things were fine. But when the CMX car went around and then, derailed the next time around, and I was kind of like, huh, that's weird. And then you kind of look under there and you're like, oh, there's a point rail pointing up, and the other one's and you're kind of like, ah, geez. So I fixed it, but I was like, I gotta just replace it. And I had the turnout for probably 6, maybe 8 months, which and of course it didn't take me long. Now, that's not, I don't have ballast, it wasn't glued down. I'm at the stage now where it's really easy, and to be honest, that's part of the reason why I'm kind of dogging it on doing things like the ballast and a lot of the scenery, is because I want to make sure that it's bulletproof. With my old layout, I had nothing but problems. I mean, you guys can remember, I was actually watching the video today with the cheesy music where I used the wood shims to come off the foam, and great idea, but man, the execution was just not there because we decoupled all the time, or like derailed, or the whiskers hit. Like, I had tons of problems, and it got really frustrating. So with this layout, I want to try to make everything as solid as possible. And I've got one other problem, is the top of the last incline goes into a switch, and I have the odd derail with the steam engine. It works like 99% of the time, and then it'll derail once and I'll mess with it, and then the steam engine won't derail, but then the road switcher will uncouple, and I'll mess with it some more, and then everything works, and I don't touch it, and I glue everything down, and 2-3 months will go by, and then out of the blue something will happen, and I'll be like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
So I've re-glued it, we're there, but I'm about ready to rip up that whole corner and just move the incline down a little bit so that it comes up and then has a little bit of level area before it hits the switch, which is, I think, what I should have done to begin with. But again, I had no idea. I've never dealt with inclines before, to be fair, and 4% at that point. So it's good. It's good to experiment, and I think it's a great test. It goes to show, like, if you can take the time and run everything. Now, I'm really lucky, that in a way that I only have 4 locomotives and, only 3 or 4 different brands of rolling stock, and they're all pretty much 40 foot or 50 foot and made by the same brand. So I can run a train and pretty much say, yeah, everything's good, whereas some of you guys have like hundreds of possibilities, and that's where I'm like, how do you test? How do you test? And then if one train doesn't work and then the other ones do, what do you do? I don't know. Maybe you guys can mention that, because you both have ballast down, and you're much further on your layouts. But for me, I'm really lucky that I'm at the stage I am. I've got that one more issue that I want to take care of, and that's it. Everything else is working fantastic. Hopefully I didn't jinx anything. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm really lucky.
That retaining wall, though, I can't wait for you to show.
It's hiding back there. You can't see it. Maybe I can zoom in. Oh my god, hold on. I don't want to knock over everything. I've got everything propped up perfectly. If I can. Yeah, it's, oh geez, hold on. No, that's the wrong way. Okay, I'm just gonna pick up the camera. This is a disaster. Chris, why'd you make me do this? Oh my god.
I didn't make you do it. I just like that retaining wall.
That does look sweet though, right?
Oh, look at that.
And I put the other one just there. They're tucked in behind the wood. I've got to cut them, but I think it looks sick. Oh geez, so sorry guys. I'm gonna close the lens so nobody gets motion sickness. Yeah.
It's a good looking wall, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Anyways, continue. Mark, Chris.
Mark.
Problems on the layout.
Mark doesn't say too much. Mark should talk now.
Well, yeah, track laying is so important. I know. I don't know if anyone else like this, but I learned a few things in this layout, and of course, the last layout I always said, "Well, I'll make it better the next layout," and now I'm saying, "Well, the next layout I won't do that." There's a part on my layout where I made 2, I guess, tables for the workbench, and they just didn't match by a millimeter. I thought, it'll correct itself when I lay a track down. No, because the wood was off, then the foam was off, and the cork bed was a little bit. I thought the cork bed would kind of smooth it out. No, put the track down. There's a little dip. Remember, Chris, your layout, your last house. There's a little dip, and so when the train comes, it uncouples.
Then you got to kind of put like a shim of some sort under it to make it more gradual, but that doesn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the tiniest thing. Like you said, Dave, 99% of the time, trains go there, no problem.
Yeah.
But like the last live stream, I ran the LRC train, and because the couplers are a bit uneven, that little dip uncouples.
Well, see, when I had that issue though, there was one spot and it was just going up incline, and when it got to the top of the incline, that's when the coupler would be like, nope, and then it would, But then when I switched to the 148s, oh wait, no, that was with the Go train. So when I switched to number 5s, the number 5s held a lot better, and I could fly over that thing. So, sometimes it's not necessarily the track work or the bench work; it's the car or locomotive that you're using.
Yeah,
and you can run, 5 or 6 different locomotives, different manufacturers or the same or whatever, through a curve or something. They'll all take it except for one. And does it mean it's the curve? Not necessarily. Just check the gauge on your wheels and make sure everything's good. But yeah, definitely a headache for sure.
And the segue, I told you guys, let everyone else know. Like Dave said with the switch, how long did it take you to do that switch? About 5 minutes?
5-10 minutes. Yeah.
I finally, not only did I catalog all my rolling stock, but I finally switched the couplers on a few of my cars that were driving me nuts because the couplers weren't, coupling. So I shelved them for like years.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I got to buy some number 5s. So I'm cleaning out, because as I catalog my rolling stock, I'm cleaning out other stuff too, and I'm going through my stuff. I found a bunch of number 5 KD couplers, which I guess I bought years ago. So I switched, and it was so easy to do.
I know. When you came over and you're like, I hate doing it. It sucks so much. I'm like, it takes like 2 minutes.
You tried to pawn me off on that. You kept saying that you were gonna get me to do it, and I'm like,
You know why? My first experience changing couplers was with the old like Tyco cars, which aren't even screwed in. They're like you just kind of plug them in.
Yeah.
But this, some cars are easier than other ones. Most of them are pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like the Atlas one I showed you was, that's quite a setup. Anyway, that's for another show. But yeah, I changed. So now most of my cars are running really well. I did order some 148s from OVR for my LRCs. Mm-hmm. And I might change the coupler on the new LRC locomotive I just showed you, because it's like sags a little bit. So it's not the same height as the LRC cars. But yeah, I just one of those things, Took me 2 minutes to do, but I'm so glad I did it finally.
Smallest thing that makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, at the time when I had done all my couplers for my Go Transit cars, that's when I still had them. I was going to give up on them. I was going to sell them, which I technically ended up doing, but that's only because Rapido announced that they were doing theirs, and I'm like, much rather have those. Yeah. And I was going to, get rid of them and whatnot, but then I'm like, no, let me try couplers. That smallest thing makes biggest difference. I adjusted the wheels because because of the way they are, it has a little spacer, and then you put a single wheel into one side and a single wheel into the other, and then you have to adjust how far out from the rod they go to gauge them with your track. And all of them were out of gauge, so of course they're going to derail. Absolutely. So I went through every single one of those cars, fixed every single wheel, and you got to remember there's, on a truck, there's 2 wheels or 2 sets. So that's 2 and 2, there's 4. And then however many cars you have. And then you got to change your couplers. And, usually you can go on the KD website and there's recommendations for the brand of car or the type of car, but not all of them. So then you gotta be somewhat inventive and try a couple of things, see what works. And the number 5s, it's a very standardized coupler. Yeah. And it works well. So try it out.
I've never used the website actually. I always
Really?
just I've always used 158s, and I just bought my first set of 140. We have a special guest. Yeah, I just
Garfield.
bought my first set of 148s for my steam locomotive because I tried to stick 158s there, but it was too short, and it caused some problems, and I didn't like that. So I switched them back to the Bachmann couplers, and that nearly killed me. So with my most recent order, I got some 148, so that's gonna go in. But it is like, oh, I want to come down and work on something. Do I want to do this tedious, repetitive task, or do I want to do something like awesome? Nobody wants to do the.
Exactly.
But then again, sometimes like when I work 12 to 8s, and so I come up by the time I get home it's 9, and I do my chores, and it's like, oh, you got 45 minutes before you got to hit the hay. It's just like, yeah, I'll put on some music and just kind of go at it, and I don't know. Sometimes I enjoy it.
I try to cycle between all the things because there's a lot of aspects to the hobby, whether it's changing couplers, repairing cars, doing graffiti on cars, building the actual layout, doing scenery, doing electrical and all that. I tend to cycle through everything so I don't get too bored. So obviously I had like 14 LRC cars that all needed the 148s. So I would do maybe about 2 at a time. I would oil the wheels, change the couplers, and then, send them on their way, right?
Yeah.
Then do something else. But yeah, as long as you're not doing one thing consecutively, I don't find that you get too bored of it.
Yeah. So Chris, what on your current layout? Are there any problem areas?
How much time do you have?
Is the whole layout just a problem area? Like, let's be honest.
No, but it's when you start at one end and you work your way to the other, by the time you get to the other end where you started, it needs a lot of work still, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the hugest problem right now is keeping my track clean. And because I'm one person and I don't have a cleaning car, it makes that much more work, and there's a lot of difficulties. So whenever I go to film something, I do have to clean a large portion of track by hand, which that's the biggest issue. So when the guys came over a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, if you can stick to the middle of the layout, it's probably the cleanest. Right now it's all relatively fresh, so you should be able to go around and whatnot. And to be honest, I filmed that challenge video after with the M420, and it worked totally fine. So I don't know if Tristan's wheels were just dirty. I don't know, but wow, I took a lot of
under the bus.
Well, no. He even said that they are finicky in that sense, and I mean, like, I don't know, it is what it is. I don't know. The M420 is just like a powerhouse, though, because it flies around this thing. So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
It's just one of those things where, upkeep, it's really just upkeep is difficult on a larger scale layout. So.
Absolutely. And going back to what Mark, I guess you also said, you can compensate. So dirty track, like I went and got current keepers or keep alives to compensate for that. Or like my insole frog, stuff like that. Like there are always, okay, bumpy track, you get kind of the fatter couplers. Stuff like that. Like there are ways to kind of sneak your way around, and it's so funny because you guys, I don't know if we had a problem all day when you were here. Everything ran phenomenal. Pat myself on the back a little bit, but then Mark puts his CN stuff on and it just didn't work out. He was trying to shoot videos that kept decoupling, we were laughing, and it's like my stuff worked fine, and it goes to show just how particular things can be, but how I've changed all my couplers to 158, so it's a little fatter, everything's chilling, it all works.
And even the difference of a 50-foot box car to a 40-foot box car.
Yeah, that was sad. I'm glad it went to a good home though.
Also, I think and well, I mean, I'm not going to show it right now because it's a lot to show. But even this last week, because the lumber prices did drop, and it's about time too. Just going out to get a 4x8 sheet, which was great. I was able to do most of the bench work for the top, which most of the top is done as far as bench work. It's all done. And then I was able to put risers in. That's done. I got cork down yesterday for like everything that's above me here and all the way to the back. And I even laid track today on the upper level. So I'm getting there.
Exciting. Are you going to have like an open house where a bunch of people come over and run trains when you finally finish the mainline loop?
Well, I was going to do a golden spike live to have, just to show my main line is done from this point to this point. And then, I have to clean everything. That's going to be the biggest thing, where I think I'm waiting until my main line is done, where I can get the cleaning car at that point and I can just run loops and get the whole main line just perfect. Mm-hmm. And then I can chip away at all the sidings and all the industries and whatnot. It takes forever and it sucks. I don't think I would ever admit it to my wife, but I probably should have done just 2 levels with, a bit more spacing in between. You stand back and you look at it and you're like, is that overkill? I think I used that term with you guys the other day when I sent a picture, and I was like, is it overkill? Is it too much? Did I, but I'm still happy with it. It's fun and keeps me busy.
How are your switch machines?
Oh,
I think James is having a problem with his.
Yes. Yeah. So this is what I want to ask you, because I know how he has his set up, and I'm just wondering, because we had a discussion about, the throw bar being so long, so you had to mill out some of the underside of your layout. So how much is in between your actual machine and the track?
Well, the width of the cork,
yeah.
And then the foam is 1/2 inch, I think. Or I use inch. I think he's 1/2 inch. Gosh, I don't even know. I think he's 1/2 inch. And the plywood's like 1/2 inch as well? No, 1/4 inch? I got with the video. Gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah, because he has the 1/4 inch ply, 1 inch foam, and then cork and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's saying that it doesn't completely lock when you throw it one way. So, I mean, that could either be one of two things. One is that it's not completely centered.
Yeah.
You can also adjust it so that you have a bit more give to the throw bar.
Mm-hmm. The pivots.
Or you're using the the end of it, which isn't as strong as, let's say, further down. Because mine is it's literally 1/2 inch ply than cork, right? So it will go, farther, and you're using farther down the rod, so it's closer to the actual mechanism.
Yeah. I wonder if he took his springs out too on the.
He didn't at first, but he then did, but he's still having the issue.
Oh, really?
Okay, so he says 1/2 inch plywood, 1/2 inch foam, and cork.
Yeah.
How long is the throw bar, or the wire that it comes with?
I have one over there. Is
it just an inch long, maybe, or like just an inch?
It's I haven't watched my video. I forget.
Or maybe the hole's not big enough? Is it catching?
That could be part of it. It's
hard to they're hard to get right. I find switch machines, the tortoise ones, well, I haven't used anything but the tortoise ones, but they were pretty, on my last layout with the foam and stuff, they were finicky. Like, you really had to I had to like place mine a couple different times, and when you're doing it by yourself, to mount them on the bottom is just so painful.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, so hard.
Oh man, it's a 2-person job.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah.
Even just getting it through that little hole on the,
Yeah,
on the actual throw bar there.
but
I was thinking tonight, I was walking the dog because James had commented on my video, and I was thinking switch machines are great when they work. Just push a button, flip a switch, switches, beautiful. But my gosh, they're a pain in the butt to install.
He's had a lot of bad luck though, because like I think he bought a 5-pack and 3 of them were dead on arrival.
I know.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that only had like with the amount that I've purchased so far, I only had 1 that was like that. But that's still
I don't know. And Mark's LEDs burnt out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like that, you didn't have that in that long, and they were.
No.
I don't know. That's tough.
Installing them is really, I don't find that they would be any different than the tortoise ones because you're still underneath. You still have to center it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the tortoise ones. The only advantage I find just talking to you guys is if my LED. I did all the wiring. Everything's separate with the tortoise. So you guys got the kit. You guys use the kit. It works or it doesn't. Whereas for me, I have to buy the switch. I have to buy the LED. I have to buy the tortoise. I have to buy the power supply. But if one thing goes wrong or blows up, I can just replace my LED if I really like. If I need, I can just replace one LED and off I go. Or the switch is broken. No problem. I'll just replace just the switch, stuff like that, right? And I don't know. How many did I have? I think I had 12 switch machines on my old layout, or did I have 6? Chris, how many did I have?
You had at least 6 or 7.
I think I only had 6. I think I had, because I had 2. Anyway, I've probably only had 8 to 10. But they've all worked fantastic. But I mean, there are people. That means nothing because there are people out there who Walthers work perfect and they got all of them perfect. It's hard to.
It was very 50% for me, like 50-50. I was
Sorry.
Your biggest fan, Mark, or?
Yeah. And by the way, I do have 1-inch foam.
1-inch foam, yeah, okay.
Half-inch plywood, 1-inch foam.
And the cork.
So it could just be a centering thing because even I had issues, like I said, like I got five or 6 in, and half of them worked and half of them I had to go back and readjust. And it's not until you fine tune it that it'll work a little bit better.
Yeah. Question about them. When they're turned off, can you manually throw them? Like the tortoise, if you apply gentle pressure, I can throw it both ways.
You need power going to it in order for it to...
You can't push it manually?
Oh, yeah, you can kind of turn... it's touchy though. Yeah.
Might blow a gear.
Like even with yours, right? You don't want to ruin those gears, right?
Oh, but the tortoise ones, you can totally just gently push it and it'll go. Yeah. Because without power, it's not holding either way. It's still geared, but it's free. Yeah. So it's only the motor's only active when there's power. So I just didn't know if the Walthers was like that too, because that's how I test when I put it in. Obviously, you don't have power hooked up. You get the bar through, and then you put your hand under and you can throw it manually side to side and make sure it's making connection.
The funny thing is that when you buy them now, it seems like you have to test it out. It'll work, yes or no, and then you can install it. But the cool thing is that it has that self-centering piece where, if the little blue chip is connecting some of the little wires there, the rod will be straight up. And then as soon as you add power, you remove it. And then it either goes like that or, like that. So it's great for installing it. But beyond that, it's like if the hole's not big enough or if it's not completely centered, you're going to have a ton of issues. So, Mark, did you take this? You took the springs out of your switches, right?
Yeah, the video I watched said, "Oh, there's no need to," but I tried it and it just wouldn't switch. So I took the springs out and it worked. Yeah, I wonder if I should buy new lights for it, but it's not a big deal.
Can you just unsolder them? Is it all? It's a board though, right? It's not.
Oh, none of it's soldered.
Yeah,
It's all
no
plug.
soldering.
Oh, it's just plugged. Oh,
But didn't you glue your thing into your control panel?
Yeah, I did. And again, if I had like lots of switches, lots of buttons and lights and everything, I guess I would have to get it fixed. But it's just that one crossover, so I know if it's on or off. Like, it's not a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Another thing is the price, right? I mean, like, you'd pay about
Exactly.
$25 for Tortoise, but you pay about $23 for a Walthers, which is, it's
Yeah.
comparable, right? But
well, but by the time I buy the switches, the power, the lights, or however I want to do it,
mhm.
it adds up too.
I've just been drilling the hole and laying the switch over top of the hole because I only wanted to do them on my main line, which even still, doing the bottom, there's at least, I want to say at least $500 into the switch system already. Yeah, and that's just the bottom level. So I've been throwing a lot of the Caboose Industries all over the layouts now, because I still have all of mine from my last layout.
Okay.
And that way I can still flip the switch without worrying about, too much. But I ran out. So I've just got a pin holding either the switch open or closed for now until I get more. But yeah, it's such a big investment when you're building a layout from start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that you kind of want to add later. You want to get it built, you want to get it running, and then worry about that extra expense later. So
that's one thing I like about the Picos with the built-in springs.
Yeah.
Having built-in springs. Who else has built-in springs for turnouts?
I wouldn't know.
I've only ever used Atlas or Pico. So
it's just so much easier. I wonder
the manual switches are fine. I like as long as you can reach them, but there's certain areas on the layout.
Yeah, but as you said, it's a it's a nice do it later. So with the Pico, you can put it in and then just take the spring out later if you really want to. Or I mean, the Caboose Industries works with the Pico springs. You don't even have to take them out.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's been, you kind of hit these roadblocks every so often with the layout, or you get comfortable with, well, you can run loops now, Dave, right? So you run a lot of loops. You'll put a train on, I know you enjoy just watching it and the sounds of the train running around and whatnot. And then, you almost don't want to do anything else because you're so content with how it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've touched on that before, where it's like it's kind of both. It's kind of both. Like, yeah, like once I got my main line down, it was like awesome. I'm gonna run it around, but it's half like, yeah, I'm gonna go down and just run a train, but then it's half like, oh my god, this is so sick. I'm running a train. I want to run more. So. And I love, I'm a little biased because I love track laying. I love track laying. I love wiring. I don't love making things look good, but I love designing and track laying. So I was just frothing at the mouth the whole time. But then once it was done, as I mentioned earlier, I love the aesthetic of the plywood and the cork and the track. So I was fully content with just chilling and enjoying that for a while.
It's fun. I think that we tend to do the things the most that we enjoy, right? So, if you can get to that point where you're just running trains, of course you're going to run trains, and, you might sidetrack all the buildings and trees and all that other stuff if you're not a huge fan of doing that stuff, right? Yeah. I'm going to put off wiring for a while because I've got maybe about like 2 or 3 feeders besides my yard in the second level. I've got about 2 or 3 feeders on my second level right now.
Don't tell me that. That's
And
man.
it works. It works.
Oh,
There's no issues. But, could I stand to drop more? Probably, for consistency. But, I will avoid it like the plague if I could, so.
You know what kind of makes me angry? Not angry, but I was like, I went to all this trouble, all this work, and it was a bit of a pain in the butt to wire up my duct lift. So it's wired up. There is no need. When I do my live shows or put the duct lift in, I never connect the the duct lift is never wired because my layout is small enough that, like you said, 1 feeder, 2 feeder wires could run the whole thing. But I drilled holes in the curtain and the fascia and oh my gosh, it was just a nightmare. You ever drill into a curtain? Don't do it, kids. Oh my gosh, you pull the threads start to go and then there's remind me next live show, I'll show you the run in the curtain where the whole thread ripped up because the drill bit got it.
I have feeders every foot, every 2 feet.
There's
Pretty
no
much
need.
everywhere there's a break, and there's a break everywhere, right?
There's no need, Dave.
On every branch of every switch,
God.
there's a feeder. There's literally a feeder everywhere, and all my switches have jumpers. There's power everywhere. There's power everywhere. Like on my reversing loop, I have 3 feeders just on the curved parts. One at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end. And that's just for the reversing loop. Then there's the isolation rail joiners, and then I've got feeders beyond that, and then I've got so many, but I
feel
love it. Whatever,
But for what you have, though, you know what I mean? With the reversing loop and whatnot, you kind of have to. With me, even though it looks, elaborate and all that, it's no different than having a circle, right? Only the circle is more of an oval, and the oval goes from one end of the room to the other, and then it goes up a level, and then it ovals back. So you do have that consistency of it being a circle, just a really long circle. So that's why I can put a train on one side of the room and a feeder all the way on the other side of the room, and it'll run. And that's good enough for me because that's how it works.
The poor DCC signal is just struggling, my dude.
I mean, we'll see when I get to level 3.
It's like me yelling at you from here. Can you hear me in Ottawa? The poor locomotive doesn't know whether to go forward or back.
I'll definitely probably need a booster once level 3 is in place. But one of the huge things that, and I know that both of you guys do it too, is that those sidings that you don't want power going to, you add the on and off switch for those sides. And I think it is one of the biggest things that you should have on your layout, because if you got as many sidings as we do, then all that extra power that's being put onto those sidings, and you're not even using them right now.
Yeah. As many as we do. I have 3, Chris. Come on.
Hey, that's a lot of extra power, man.
I have 4 locomotives in total.
You've got a yard and everything too.
I have a 5. I think I got the 7 amp system. No, maybe it's 5. I think I've got the 5 amp system. I need 1 amp.
As long as they're HO, right?
The best part was when I first came to HO, I didn't select the HO option on my Digitrax command thing, the DCS 100. And I'm like, DC, man, these are so slow. And then 3 months in, I'm like, oh my god, it's on the end, and I flip it to HO, and everything went so much faster.
That's a thing?
Yeah, because it provides different voltage. There's a G. It's HO, N, or O and G, and it provides different voltages. I never change. Once it's set, you never change it, but
yeah, yours doesn't have that option, Mark. So you would never have noticed.
Also, on the topic, what's a PR4?
It's it's the Digitrax interface with a USB port to run JMRI. I have it.
That's basically connecting your
So
computer
you
to
connect
your
your LocoNet, like the RJ12 cable that the 6-pin cable Digitrax uses. It connects to the JR4, and then the JR4 spits out a USB cable that you plug into your computer.
Okay. Okay, thanks. But yeah, wiring, that's another issue too.
Don't even get me started.
I don't mind wiring, but what I'm really bad at, and again, I can show you next live show, the wiring looks like a rat's nest under my layout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that I can feel there. Yeah.
So now, my latest thing, when I did the, the OC Transpo, the bus, the lights up and the crossing gates and stuff, and the wire tower, my reaction on the video was like, wow, it actually worked. That was a real reaction. I was like, first shot. It actually worked. I wired it up and
there's no smoke coming out of it.
There's no hiccups.
Did you make one of my paper diagrams with a Crayola on a napkin? You're like, okay, so I'm gonna run this by Dave.
Oh yeah, Chris sends me these pictures all the time, and he's just like, "Does this make sense?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, I know."
Which part?
Did your
the part
kid
that
run?
You're using
like,
a child's
did your
crayon?
youngest kid draw this for you? Like, no, dude, that was me. Okay, let me just, and then I'll remake it in like MS Paint. It's not perfect, but like it makes more sense. I'll be like, "Is this what you mean?" He's like, "Yeah."
I'm like,
okay.
"Yeah, that's what I did right here."
Yeah. This one makes more sense. And I'm like, what?
But then, there was a continuity error with how I had wires going to certain things, and you're like, "No, it has to go here and here," and I'm like, "That's why it's not working," and it worked. So that's why we keep you around.
So now the drag is, and again, the last project, when I'm wiring now, of course, I drill a hole for the wire to go through. All the sawdust goes under my layout.
Yeah, that's why I've can't see any of it.
Which would be fine if I didn't have stuff under the layout, but I have like tons of storage under there, and everything's full of sawdust. Drives me nuts. And there's wires. I always make the wires longer than they should be, so I don't have to better be long than short. So there's all these loops hanging underneath the layout. So if I go to grab something, I might grab the wire and then boop, disconnects.
Yeah. One of these days I'm going to zip tie all mine up. That's one of those like really medial, repetitive, tedious tasks that we talked about earlier. I got to do that.
Didn't I show you guys those the little, it looks like, where's the camera? It looks like this. It's plastic. And there's a nail that goes up like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you put your wires in, and then you just hammer the nail up, and it holds it like right up against the wood or whatever.
Yeah, until you put the nail through a wire. I've been there multiple times.
Yikes.
We have to wire manage for work. I'm the worst one. I'm the worst. They don't send me anymore. I'm so bad. I just take it and I wrap it all the cable. There's like 6 different cables, and I'm just like, and then zip tie it, and then I'm like, and then I sticky thing to the wall, and the zip tie goes through that into the other zip tie, and I'm like, and I cut off the ends too short, and I'm like, it's good enough, and I leave. And then somebody gets their foot caught, and then Ock Health gets involved, and they're like, who wired this? And I'm like, I don't know. It was like that when I got there.
Steve made a good point. With the PR4, you can also connect cell phones to it too, right?
Yeah, through JMRI. Yeah. So
it's
with
kind
the
of like
PR4, you need JMRI to run Y throttle the AR4.
Okay.
Or there's the interface you've got, Chris, that is just Wi-Fi.
The LNWI, which is local net something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
It's crazy. Like just trying to make it work, trying to pull it all together, and I don't know. It's tough sometimes. It's really tough.
My next layout, what I'm going to do is pre-drill the wire holes, because that's
why you wire it all at once. Then you don't have to. None of that.
What?
You wire it all at once. I dropped all my feeders. Even if I didn't connect them under, they all got dropped out at the same time. Because then you just sit there and I'm like, I'm just gonna cut like 30, 6-inch 1 foot wire lengths. I'm gonna tin all the ends at once. Again, stupid.
I mean, drill holes underneath the layout and the cross beams, like the supports.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, do it all. Do it all.
Do it up. Let's do it. Send it. Send it.
Send it. Just give her.
Actually, what you're talking about, totally accurate, because when I look at this yard here, I know there's all ballast and you can't see it, but when I had all the track on it, I basically went in a straight line, going right back, drill, 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 drill. So one on each side of every rail. And then I just put my red, then white, red, then white, red, then white.
Yeah.
Making my way to the back, tin, 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 tin.
Yeah.
And
Making
then
my way
connected them all.
downtown, drilling
Yeah.
fast, dropping the feeders. It's power time. No, 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 no. Running trains now. No, 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 no.
Terrible.
Copyright striked.
But yeah, so I mean, it's been a challenging month, but I think that, you know, we're all getting closer to, you know, where we want our layouts to be, you know, and it's I think it's great. I think Mark, your layout's really coming along with the scenery and whatnot. Everything that you said that you were scared to do, you're doing an amazing job, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit because you're.
I wouldn't
you're doing
say
a really
amazing,
good
but
job.
thank you. I'm
Well,
happy with it.
I think it's amazing. So, and Dave,
Thanks, pal.
I saw a CN locomotive on your layout, and I think that's amazing, dude.
God, do you know how many the comments I get? Man, never forget.
Can we talk about the visit when we came over and ran trains? How fun that was! Can we talk about that? For a minute?
It was a blast, actually.
Well done.
I had
well
a
done.
great time. Yeah.
So
The
just
barman said hi, Chris.
it was just the duotangs. Even if they were empty duotangs, and he gave us duotangs and said, you know, run some trains, I'd be like, whoa, man.
You literally open it up and it's just run trains. Done.
So it's that picture of Dave's face. I've got an assignment for you. I'm like, what do I do?
Conductor Dave says.
It's just a picture of your face. But like, honestly, like, it was well planned out, well thought out, very well executed. And it really shows that, you know, when it comes to running trains in that light, because I've never ran an op session like that before, it really shows your skill set. Which mine is like, you know, mediocre.
Like Chris broke every rule I said on the layout, every single one.
I was really impressed. I was really impressed.
So
you know
now,
yeah, the speed limit. I saw a speed limit. And I was like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me! Speed limit.
Yeah,
but it really added a realism to it. It was good.
Mark's like, okay, yeah, I'm going 18. Oh, the train's out of sight. Like floors the thing. You just hear the poor motor just hauling around the lower reverse loop. And it's just like, oh, I wonder what that sound is. And it's like, Mark, like, you know how fast I've run those trains? I know exactly what it sounds like. Like, I know what you're doing. It's fine. But the problem is you guys had to wait for each other. And so you were done way faster and Chris took forever.
I was too busy
put a
picking
cylinder in a square hole and it just did not go.
I literally had it. I was going page one. This is bull. You know, I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
I don't know. You were pretty excited to run that steam engine.
I mean, you know, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have. But, you know, it was the kick in the pants that I needed, I guess.
Yeah. I do want to video it next time. The reason I didn't video it the first time, I just wanted to enjoy it.
Of course.
You know, it's been a long time since the three of us have gotten together and ran trains, and you know, we like to chat. You know, it's just a good time, and when you film it, then it feels like everything just has to be perfect. Everybody's kind of, you know, in film mode. But next time I do want to film it, I'll put cheesy music because I love that cheesy music. Oh my god, I love the cheesy like 80s like make out music. It's so cheesy. I love it. I can't help myself. So that next time I'm gonna make a whole new Obsession 2, different plan, and we'll definitely get you guys back over and we'll film it.
We'll bring some CN.
No, we
Sounds
won't.
good.
No.
You know, Chris, I was thinking just the other day, remember when we first got there, Dave says, okay, I got this great obsession, but if you guys just want to chill and just do your own thing, you can. What if we said, yeah, we don't want to do your obsession, we're just going to do our own thing?
I would have died inside a little bit. I would have went upstairs and cried and told my wife to yell at you guys into playing by my rules, and then
What? What I made duotangs.
I was waiting for you to say, I am the law.
And I stay up till 4 a.m. You guys just want to chill? Okay, yeah, that's fine. You guys can do that.
I did stay up till 4 a.m., by the way. I did.
I know.
I was so excited.
Oh.
My wife, like, oh, man.
No, it was good. It was very good.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed.
But the bar is set high, unfortunately, so...
Yeah, I don't do duotangs. I order pizza though, so there's that.
Well, yeah, who was in charge of the food? They didn't even bring enough.
Can I tell them a story?
Go, Mark, please tell it from your point of view, because from my point of view, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's 9:30 now. No rules, right? No, it's GVO After Dark.
Yeah.
So, our good friend Chris had his second vaccine the day before the op sesh.
It was like two. No, I was like a couple.
Two or three. Yeah, because I got it on a Monday.
Right. So yes, you got the shot 2 days ago, but the day after you're really sick. So Chris gets really sick the day before the op sesh, right?
Yeah.
You were off that day. You were really sick that day.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I was. It was terrible.
Yeah. So the morning of the op sesh, I text Chris, "Hey, you going to Dave's?" Because I was going to drop by and pick him up. We go together, carpool. It's a pretty long drive. And he's hemming and hawing and said, "Well, I can go." Okay, that's not really an answer, but and so we leave it at that. I figure he's not going to go because he's sick. Don't blame him. So just me and Dave. So I go pick up burgers for me and Dave. 2 burgers. 2 things of fries. Thinking Chris is not going to come.
His face when he pulled up and he hands me the food and he's like, "Yeah, I got us 2 burgers and 2 fries." And I was like, "Did you get one for Chris?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Is Chris coming?" He's like, "That guy didn't even text me back. He didn't tell me." And I was like, "You're joking, right?" He's like, "No, I'm not joking. Chris never confirmed." And I was like, "You can have mine. You can have mine." Like,
so Chris shows up like, no. So Chris shows up an hour later. Meanwhile, the food's getting cold. There's 2 burgers to be had. And of course, the 3 of us are arguing. I say, "I'll go back out and get another burger. I don't mind. I was in charge of food. I'll go out. It's not very far. I can go get the burger." Because where Dave lives, there's no Uber Eats, apparently.
No.
I think a guy in a horse and cart comes delivers the food, right?
Oh, and I'm like, "No, you guys eat. I'll just make a sandwich upstairs or something. Like, I live here. It's fine." And then Chris is like, "No, it's fine. I'm not even hungry." And it's like, "Chris, you just told me you didn't eat all day, man. Like, eat the burger." "No, man, it's fine." And then it's just like, so I'm like, "Fine, I guess I'll eat the burger." And then Chris is staring at the burger like my cat stares at chicken. And it's just like, do you want? Yeah. Yeah. And so I go upstairs. I'm like, first of all, here, have these fries. And then I cut the burger in half. And then he's like, and it's gone. I don't even know if he chewed. And it's like, if you were that hungry, man, just eat the burger, dude. I didn't want it, man.
I could have done with that. I don't know. I wasn't, I didn't really, because I wasn't feeling well like the day before. Everything was like, I don't know what they put in that shot, but like, geez.
Oh,
I know when you told me that, I said, "Oh, I totally get it," because my wife and I were super sick after our second shot.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty bad myself, but and then it went away after like the day or two, and then I was fine.
Yeah, just like that. Boom.
Mine was like, I don't know.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it was weird. Like, yeah, I don't know. I can't really explain it. It is what it is, but
Yeah,
Other than that, I should say
It was a blast.
yeah.
I loved having you guys over.
yeah, it was fun.
If I was normal, it probably would have been a lot more rowdy than it was. So, but yeah, but it was fun. So we got to do that again. And I've never been to Mark's layout.
Yeah.
And so I come home after this great op session, and Dave's layout is not huge, but it was the three of us. We did pretty well. I came home, I looked at my wife, and I was like, I don't think I can have them both over and run trains in that small little room. A, it's super hot, and B, it's like enclosed, especially with the duct lift in place. So unless you two guys just run trains and I'll kind of stand outside and
No, if we can all physically fit in there, it's fine.
We can all fit, but not comfortably.
Did you ever run the steam train at a speed step?
No, next live show.
Next live. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes. Was it 5 or 6 minutes?
I thought it was 4 minutes, but
No, it was like 6. It was 6 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was about 6 and change or something like that.
Yeah, I think we agreed on like 6 minutes though.
And it was like speed step 15.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna call like 2 minutes on mine.
Regardless, or I guess speaking of that, so September is gonna look a little bit different. There is 5 Thursdays next month. However, because of this new holiday, which is September 30th, we're skipping that week. It's a holiday. We're going to leave it as is. If you guys want to do a stream or whatever, or a live on that day, totally up to you. But we're going to do it business as usual. So we've got Dave, September 2nd, over on Dave Coe's channel. He'll be doing the Third Rail Thursday. Then we'll be back here on the 9th for my Third Rail Thursday. And then we'll be over on Eminem's channel on the 16th for Third Rail Thursday. And then we'll collectively be back here on the 23rd for Third Rail Thursday. And so that means no live on the 30th. And you guys get the week off.
Good call. Sounds like a plan.
And of course, every Sunday morning at about 11, I'm still doing the Sunday brunch kit builds. That's going really well. Getting a lot done for sure. What about you guys? Do you guys have any videos?
School's starting up for me, so I'm kind of laying low right now for videos.
Are we not going to see any more of your 2-minute clips or 2-minute videos? I enjoy those. They're short and sweet.
I'm thinking of doing like an LRC run, just some run bys, show off the new loco. So maybe that. No promises though.
Dave?
Yeah.
If I can get those rock walls kind of put where I want to, I might make a quick layout update on that one. I've got another kit that I'll probably reveal, but won't have built. But yeah, maybe just some running, some quick run bys. I like to do those when I make new progress on the layout and do a couple run bys, little teasers.
Also, no, we were talking separately about just kind of overall how the next 3-4 months are going to look. And I'm just going back to it here on my phone, just because I want to kind of give everybody a sneak peek of what they can expect. We're just wrapping things up here, but I just want to kind of give everybody a heads up, because we do plan things. We plan for the future because we've got lots more shows to do. So September, like I just said, Dave, me, Mark, and then GVO, and then we're skipping the 30th. October is the season finale, and October is also Halloween. And you guys know that every year, at least every year so far, we've dressed up and we have a blast doing it. And the crazy thing about this year, this October, and I really hope my wife isn't watching, but we're not going to be here on Thursday because that will be Thursday the something. I don't know, the 27th or something. So we're actually moving the third rail Thursday, or the GVO After Dark, I should say, to the Saturday, which is Devil's Night. Dun, dun, dun. The day before Halloween, if you will. And it's going to be great because we've never done a live like that on a Saturday night. Same time and all that, but yeah, we're going to do the Halloween show on a Saturday night. And in October, that's October. So then November, of course, is going to be the season 4 opener. I hope to have everything with the what am I calling it again?
Keep it on track or keeping track?
Yeah, keeping track. There we go.
Track.
Yeah, that's when keeping track will start in November, and it'll start just before the GVO After Dark. So it'll go from 7 till whatever, and then 8 o'clock is when the normal time. So keeping track, and of course, I am also doing a Remembrance Day military special for my Third Rail Thursday in November because I'm on the 11th. And, so I'm going to have a very, very neat show lined up for you guys. Probably going to have some special guests and whatnot for that. And that's all I'm going to let you guys know because that's, big stuff coming up, big stuff. And of course, Christmas is going to be the next month, but that's for another episode. Other than that, guys, do you guys have anything else?
Nope.
No.
Just one last thing, Chris.
Oh my!
You didn't ask permission to use my likeness.
Joke's on you. It's your own stream.
I can't. I can't with you
Have
guys.
a good night, everyone. It was a blast.
Right.
Lots of
Good
fun.
night. Thanks everybody in chat for watching. Until next time, I have a train to catch.
Enjoy your bacon.
And whatever Mark says. I can't remember. He doesn't say anything. What's his line? He doesn't have a line. What's your line?
Cake tear.
Oh, cake tear. I should remember. I like cake. Cake tear.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Right? Okay.
All right.
Wait. Right. Okay. Have a good one, everybody. And we'll be over on Dave's channel next Thursday.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.